Hi friends, welcome to today's asana breakdown. Today we're going to be looking over Dhanurasana bow pose. Now in the world of yoga heart openers, we tend to put a lot of unnecessary and dangerous weight onto our lower lumbar spine. But there are ways to make back bends or heart openers feel really good for your bodies. And we're going to go over some modifications on how you could build that range to enter Dhanurasana safely and do the pose in a way that gives you a great feeling and an opening as opposed to pain. None of us want pain in our back bends, and there are ways to protect that lower lumbar spine whenever we come into these heart openers. This is a great opening for the chest, for the upper body, and it's going to require mobile shoulders. Now, a lot of times when people think of back bends, they think of the lower lumbar spine. When, if you look at the mobility stability model, the lumbar spine is built for and designed and evolved for stability. It isn't meant to be very mobile versus the shoulders, which are a very, very mobile group of joints. So some preparatory poses for your bow pose are going to be things that are going to work on your hip extension. And hip extension just means where your legs are going back behind your pelvis. So Anjaniasana is a great preparatory pose, making sure that your glutes are active and engaged. Glute activation and glute engagement is what's going to protect your lower lumbar spine from unwanted pressure in all of the heart openers and all of the back bends. There is a misconception that you always have to engage your core for back bends, but it's actually doing a counter because we want to open our chest up. We don't want to create this compression. Otherwise, that's going to feel very, very uncomfortable for our spines. Another great preparatory pose for bow pose is going to be Shalambasana, locust pose. And I always say that if there's one yoga asana or yoga pose to do on a daily basis, it's Shalambasana, locust pose. We tend to graze over strengthening our posterior chain in a lot of our movement work and a lot of our fitness routines, but strengthening the posterior chain is going to not only have you leading a more sustainable practice, but you're also going to feel really, really good on a day-to-day basis with that strong spine. It's always really good to strengthen the spine on a daily basis. So some modifications for bow pose is you're going to start onto your belly, and a nice way to create that hamstring activation, because the hamstrings are going to be involved in all of our heart openers as well as our glutes. Try to not think about the abdominal muscles playing into it because they have very, very minimal effect onto your back bend. So you are going to drive your heels towards your glutes and avoid externally rotating the legs. You don't want your knees to spread wider than your hips in all of your heart openers. So you're going to kick your feet up, then you're going to almost enter like you're in a locust pose, interlace your hands, then pull your hands towards your ankles. And that is just a great way to build strength and activation into Dhanurasana. Or you can drive one heel in, grab a hold of that right ankle, and kick that right heel up, keeping the glutes active and engaged. So this is more of like a one-arm bow. You could even take it into a somewhat of a prone dancer pose if you wish. But what's really important is kicking your heels up towards the sky. It's really important that when you get into Dhanurasana, not to grab onto the toes unless you are flipping the grip. We want to work with our available active range of motion. Try not to push yourself over your edge. So grab a hold of both ankles for Dhanurasana. You're going to inhale to lift up through the chest, lift up through the collarbones, squeezing the shoulder blades in towards each other. Then on your exhale, while engaging the glutes, you're going to kick the feet up, making sure that your knees aren't splaying out to the side. Keep your gaze forward and down. Allowing your chest to open. Can you breathe in this position? You could even point the toes. Then slowly lower down. To go over, keeping the glutes active in all your back bends and all your heart openers is key. Keeping the hamstrings active is going to be really great for working on that hamstring mobility and flexibility at the same time. And always make sure that your back bends and heart openers feel really good for your body. There's absolutely no point to do a pose that makes us not feel good. It's not worth it. So practice, practice, practice. Create activation in your bodies and bring an awareness into your body. Thank you so much for joining this practice. I hope that this tutorial has been very helpful for you. Please drop a comment, like, and subscribe to this page. Thank you.